Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is inspired by an email I got this morning asking me what profession I was in before voiceover. And this comes down to really the question, do you need voiceover experience or do you need to have like a theater background in order to voice act? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And the answer is no, you don't. You and your voice are created by your life experiences, your attitudes, your perception, your views. Everything that makes you you is incorporated into and makes up your voice characteristics. There are so many different projects around the world that require a child's voice, a young adult's voice, an adult's voice, a middle aged person's voice, and a senior voice. You are never too young, too old, too inexperienced, I've even heard some people say that their voice was just very unexceptional, that they had nothing to really offer except for the same old, regular Joe voice. And those voices are needed as well. There are, like I said, there are tons of different projects in the world from e-learning, audiobook narration, commercials, book trailers. I mean, anything that you can think of, video games, anything that you can think of that you deal with yourself on a day to day basis or hear or pay attention to that has a voice, that's a voice actor. We are the voices of the world. So every voice is needed to voice act. You don't have to have, the radio voice or, the voice of God in order to voice act. I voice act. I don't think my voice is that exceptional, but it just comes down to the passion and wanting to invest your time and energy and money into this business and this industry. If you give it your full attention and you study and you train and you get yourself a coach and you learn everything that you can learn, watch all the videos, not just from my channel, but, there are hundreds of other YouTubers that provide great information about voiceover and technical information regarding, different microphones and, anything that you could want to know is available here on YouTube. So take advantage and look around. But the question that was asked was what I did before I started to voice act and how I came to be a voice actor. It all started in the spring of 2018. I was, I forget what I was doing. I think I was on my lunch break and I was reading MSN, catching up on some news stories while I was distracting myself from something I wasn't enjoying doing. And I came across an interview of an audiobook narrator. And I thought, oh, that is amazing. I've never thought of that before. I mean, I knew there were audiobooks, but you don't really put the two together that someone could pay you to do that, you know? And I was like, oh my God, I am a total book nerd. I would love to read books aloud and then to be paid for that on top of that. It's just, it blew my mind. I was so intrigued by this. I did, more research as I do with anything I do before I start. I do tons of research. I scoured YouTube. I looked at all of the different voice actor websites that I could find just to get a firm grasp on what was involved, what technical knowledge did I need to know, what equipment did I need, where do I find work, how do I edit these, how do I format these, how do I narrate these, what do I do if there's a character voice, all of those different things I researched before I started. And I've mentioned this a few times in a few other videos, but I started on LibriVox and just to get a feel of the narrating process and the editing process and the formatting process for audiobooks. And LibriVox, if you don't know, is a website where you donate your time and your skill to narrate books that are in the public domain. And then once I had a firm grasp on, the narrating, the editing, the formatting, I moved on to ACX. And ACX is a arm of Amazon that matches the author to the narrator, and the 2 get together and they create an audiobook. And then after that, I signed up on Fiverr, and then shortly after that, I signed up on Upwork, and I started to kind of figure those sites out. Now, it's all completely foreign to me, of course, but I figured it out. I watched YouTube videos, and you know, learned anything that I could about Fiverr and Upwork so I could fill everything out completely, correctly, and to, grab the eye of some clients. And that was about June of 2018. And at the time, I was working in a car dealership. I was the recon manager, which is, I was in charge of reconditioning the trade ins and the used cars for sale, and also prepping the new cars that came in for a Ford store here in Phoenix. And I've worked in the auto industry for about 20 years. So I had no theater background at all. I mean, we're talking I was in sales, finance, service, nothing to do with theater, acting, anything of the sort. I took a stagecraft class in high school, but that's about it. So once I started to get really serious about voiceover, because, I completely fell in love with it, I decided to get myself a mentor or a coach. It was probably one of the best things that I have done because not only did he show me, some of the mistakes that I was making with inflection and tone, but he also helped me to set up the business, all of the things that you need to know when you're running a business, marketing, all everything that goes on behind the scenes other than the fun voiceover part. So that that I had him for about a year and it was amazing. Between June of 2018 to I believe it was, a year ago, actually. Was it a year ago? Was it January? It was either December, of 2019 or January of this year, I was promoted to went up through the Fiverr ranks and was promoted to top rated seller on Fiverr, and that, kind of blew open the gates for me, which was awesome, and, in February of this year, I decided to go full time. So I, let everybody at work know that I was, because they knew that I did this on the side, but I told them that I finally got to the point where I couldn't do both anymore. I was actually losing voiceover money by being, employed at the job. So I decided to retire. And here I've been ever since, happy, enjoying my time with my son. And I couldn't imagine being any happier. You don't need any kind of acting background or studio background or any kind of all of that knowledge comes with doing the job. It comes with, if you're serious about voiceover, do what I did. Watch all the videos that you can watch, research all of the websites, research all of the freelancing sites, Google as much as you can, learn everything you can about it, get yourself some training, get yourself a coach, and get out there and get your feet wet. Get out there and do it. Because the more you do it, the more you learn by doing it. And that is another one of the best teachers is learning by doing and learning by making some mistakes, learning by having some great wins. All of that comes with time and experience. So I just want to encourage those of you out there that don't have any acting background or theater background or, music background or anything else, that you can do this too. All it takes is time, passion, and patience. And everything else just kind of comes along with the journey. So I encourage you to try it. Even if it's not voice acting, what if it was something else? Writing a book or, maybe learning to take pictures, whatever your passion is. Just because you don't really know the ins and outs of that industry doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Try it. Get in there, do it. You might love it and you might excel at it and you might just surpass your wildest dreams of what you could make and support yourself and your family doing something you love. There's nothing better than that. So, that was my rant for today. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you liked today's video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comment box below or send me an email. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.